All-Star Weekend. Since its inception in 1951, fans have looked forward to watching their favorite players participate in three of the biggest events of the weekend: the dunk contest, the three-point contest, and the All-Star game itself. So as we build up to this weekend's festivities, I'm going to show you the GOAT of each of these events, starting with the dunk contest. And as per usual, I'll be depending on data to score each player that has participated in a dunk contest and to see who really is the best All-Star Weekend dunker. Before we get started, if you want to see the rest of the videos coming out this week, make sure to subscribe and turn notifications on. It definitely will support the channel, and I promise it'll be entertaining. In 1976, the ABA, or the American Basketball League, was looking for a new way to spice up viewership. So as a last-ditch effort to save the league, the ABA put together the dunk contest with some of its highest profile players: artist A-Train Gilmore, George Iceman Gervin, Larry Special K Keenan, David Skywalker Thompson, and Julius Dr. J Irving. And apparently you had to have a cool nickname to be able to compete. After what seemed like a boring contest with what we'd call simple dunks today, one dunk cemented not only the win for this player, but a start of a trend for the NBA dunk contest to come.
And that sends everyone reeling. Julius Irving.
Although the ABA did fold and merge into the NBA after that season, the dunk contest would later be reinstated into the NBA in 1984, and it was all thanks to these pioneers. So with 40 years of dunk contests, we have had 134 participants, and of those 134 players, we've had 31 different winners. I decided to put together a score to look at several aspects of the dunk contest: how many wins a player had, their win percentage in the events they participated in, how many events they participated in, their average score per dunk, the number of 50s someone received, and the percentage of their dunks that were actually 50s. So with that being said, let's take a look at the top 10 players going from lowest to highest. At number 10, we have Derrick Jones Jr. He participated in 2 dunk contests, placing second in one and first in the second go around. If you have not watched this man's dunk contest highlights before, they are absolutely insane. Jones ended up with 4 50s over his 2 dunk contests, and if he hadn't choked on the final round of his first dunk contest, he could have easily been a top 5 dunk contest participant of all time. Jones ends up with a score of 8.0. At number 9, we have Dwight Howard. Dwight became the tallest dunk contest winner, standing at 6'11", and is most known for his Superman dunk per Shaq's chagrin.
You win, Superman! Da, 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 da. Superman is here!
Superman himself participated in 4 events, but only won once. But he amazingly averaged a score close to 47 points per dunk, which is impressive to have maintained that high of a score over 4 events. Dwight ends up with a score of 9.0. At number 8 is Aaron Gordon, who is our only player in the top 10, let alone top 20, who actually has never won a dunk contest. In his 3 attempts, Gordon made it to the finals twice, and honestly, you could argue that he was robbed of at least one win. Gordon, with the help of Levine, brought the dunk contest back from the dead with his display of high-flying, powerful, and creative dunks. He holds the record for the most total 50s at 8. AG ends up with a score of 9.6. At number 7, we've got one of the shortest people on this list with Nate Robinson. Standing at only 5'9", Nate holds the record for the most dunk contest wins with 3. Nate was definitely a crowd favorite, benefiting from the fan vote for his wins, but at the end of the day, he's 5'9". Come on, man. With this being said, since there weren't actual scores given by the judges during some of his competitions, I had to take the average of the first place winners and assign that score to Nate. So in all actuality, if some of those dunks were scored as 50s, he could have had a lot higher of a placement in this rankings. So mark this one with the asterisk if you want, but I blame the NBA for putting together a crappy system. Nate ended up with a score of 9.6. At number 6, this is where things are going to get a little controversial. With arguably the most entertaining dunk contest ever, we have Vince Carter. Yes, Vince Carter is at number 6 on my list, but let me explain myself. Although he averaged a 49.5 score per dunk, and he had 50s on 3 out of his 4 dunks in his one competition, something doesn't feel good about naming someone who only participated in one contest the title of the GOAT. I think if Carter was able to come back and repeat what he did, he would have been the GOAT of the dunk contest, but since he didn't return, the model just can't give him the crown. And neither can I, honestly. Vince gets a score of 10.0. At number 5 is a similar story to Vince Carter. We have Mack McClellan, the winner of the most recent dunk contest. Mack put on an almost perfect dunk contest, scoring 199.8 points out of a possible 200. Basically, averaging a 50 for his 4 dunks. Like literally, if his 49.8 was a 50, Mack would have gone from top 5 player to a top 3 participant. I mean, come on, Lisa Leslie, really? This isn't a 50?
Welcome to the NBA.
Years than Texas Tech. And when in high school in Virginia, he broke. Look at the numbers. Look at the numbers.
40s, really?
Wow.
What?
Regardless, due to Mack only being in 1 dunk contest so far, he only scores a 10.1, barely edging out VC. At number 4, we have the GOAT of the sport, Michael Jordan. Mike only participated in 3 events, but won 2 of them, going against some of the best dunkers in his events. With an average dunk of 47 points and his unhuman-like vertical, Mike was able to do this to cement himself as one of the best dunk contest dunkers of all time. MJ has a score of 11.8. For number 3, we have one of the most overlooked dunkers to participate in a dunk contest, Jason Richardson. As a Bay Area native, I was a little happy to see the model spit him out at number 3. I still remember watching his dunks live while my family was at a restaurant and being so amazed at what a person could do. I went home and tried reenacting some of his dunks on my own with my Nerf hoop in my room, only to fail and have my parents mad at me at the same time for making too much ruckus upstairs by thumping or running into the door. Jay Rich won 2 out of the 3 dunk contests he participated in and scored a 50 on 5 out of his 12 overall dunks. Jason Richardson ends up with a score of 11.9. At number 2, we have one of MJ's biggest rivals of the dunk contest, Dominique Wilkins. Nick is only one of 2 contestants to participate in 5 dunk contests and impressively made it to the finals 4 out of 5 times. He not only averaged a score of almost 48 per dunk over 5 dunk contests, he did that with 35 dunks under his belt. Dominique competed in an era where players typically had to perform 6 to 8 dunks in a dunk contest, and he still managed to average a 48 per dunk, which is mind-blowing to me. The next closest number of dunks is MJ, and he only had 25. He's called the human highlight reel for a reason, and is well deserving of a top 3 placement, and is my personal favorite dunker of the 80s. Dominique ended up with a score of 12.2. As for number 1, you probably already know who it is at this point. This player participated in 2 dunk contests and not only won both of them, but provided some of the best dunk contests in recent years while doing so. To show you a graph, these are all the players who scored in the top 25 of our model. And then here's our number 1 guy, Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine averaged a dunk of 49.3 during his 2-year demolition of the contest and received a 50 on 7 out of 10 of his dunks. So he's not only perfect going 2 for 2 with wins, but is nearly perfect when it comes to the score. He's a very similar dunker as Vince Carter and Mack McClellan, but as I mentioned earlier on this channel, we reward participation and wins when it comes to greatness. And going 2 for 2 is a lot better than going 1 for 1. Let me know if you agree with this list or not. And I'll be looking forward to seeing if Mack can repeat this year and continue to dominate as he did last year. But until then, this is RB Hoops, and I'll see you all at the start of the next quarter.